In the silence of the sea. In the year 1444, the world crossed a line written not in ink, but in blood. This was the moment it all began. A moment the world has tried to forget, but that Africa can never erase. Long before colonialism, long before the auction blocks and shackles, Africa was not a broken land. It was strong. Great kingdoms rose across the continent. The Mali Empire flourished with gold and wisdom. Benin, Oyo, and Songhai rich in art, trade, and power. Africans were not lost tribes in the jungle. They were scientists, sailors, philosophers, traders. They knew iron, mathematics, medicine. They told stories under the stars and built cities in the dust. But on the far edge of the sea, a storm was coming. In southern Portugal, in a port town called Lagos, a prince had a dream. His name was Henry the Navigator. And though he never sailed himself, he became the architect of a new kind of empire. One built not on land, but on the backs of men. He sent ships down the coast of Africa, chasing gold, spices, and glory. But when gold was scarce, they began to take something else: people. The year was 1441 when it began. 2 Portuguese explorers captured 12 Africans off the coast of Mauritania. It was a test. And they found the answer. Yes, humans could be sold. By 1444, they returned. But this time, they brought more. Over 230 Africans. Men, women, children. Dragged from their homes. Torn from their tribes. Taken in the night, in battle, in betrayal. Some were sold by rival tribes. Others were kidnapped by force. But none gave their consent. They were brought across the sea. Chained, starved, terrified. And when they stepped onto European soil, they became the first recorded African slaves to arrive in Europe by ship. The town of Lagos, Portugal gathered to watch. A spectacle. A crowd formed as the Africans were unloaded. Tired, disoriented, many too weak to stand. They were led to the center of town, where a wooden stage had been built. And one by one, they were put on display. Their skin became a price. Their bodies, merchandise. A public auction. An archbishop watched from a distance. He later wrote, "Who could see such a company and not be pierced with sorrow?" But the sorrow didn't stop the sale. Children were separated from mothers. Brothers from sisters. Elders sold to different masters. Some wept. Others resisted. But resistance changed nothing. They were sold. All of them. Not for crimes. Not for war. But because they were African. And someone saw profit in their pain. That single event in 1444 marked a dark beginning. It was the birth of the transatlantic slave trade. One ship became dozens. Dozens became hundreds. Until entire coasts were emptied. Over the next 400 years, more than 12 million Africans would be stolen. They would be packed into ships like cargo. Chained in their own waste. Fed just enough to survive. They would be beaten, branded, buried in the sea. And it all began with 230 stolen souls. In Lagos. In 1444. But history is not just dates. It's not just numbers. These people had names. They had mothers who sang to them. Fathers who taught them to fish. They had laughter, dreams, futures. And in one moment, all of that was taken. And yet, the world doesn't remember them. No statues. No school books. No prayers in their name. But we remember now. We remember because it matters. Because if we forget where this began, we may fail to see how it continues. Today, slavery still echoes. In broken systems. In stolen wealth. In silenced histories. But if we tell the truth, if we speak the names of the first stolen, then maybe we can begin to heal. This was the forgotten beginning. But let it never be forgotten again. Never forget 1444. Never forget Lagos. Never forget those first taken across the sea. If this story touched you, share it. Let the world hear what history tried to bury. and subscribe for more untold stories they'll never teach you in school.